I mean, look, Skycam, obviously as a regular low Skycam on premier college football and NFL games is a standard. High Sky is now obviously a standard in the higher level games and the bigger stages. You may see more than that in Atlanta. You may not. But I'll let Ken Agard address that later this afternoon in his panel. But I mean, look, I think that the trick to Skycam, and I know Steven is in the crowd, is not necessarily, if you have one or how many you have, it's how the director uses it.
Right.
Right, and I think what you're starting to see are directors step out of the box and use Skycams in different capacities, whether they're getting a little bit lower than they have traditionally or they're going over players in a more unconventional manner. And I think when you start to direct the Skycam out of the box, it becomes a much more different element than what has been done.
So, one thing we tried, and Skycam's a great partner of all of ours, having run in all of their competition out of town apparently, is that we actually took an empty field in Minnesota one day and just played around with a high school team and kind of saw what it could do. As it turns out, there's some things that you can do, but pretty much we've kind of figured it out a lot of ways in terms of, there's not a ton else that is out there for Skycam. However, I think that we've also challenged those flying camera vendors to come up with different ways of rigging to, let's say go, like we do in basketball where you've got the rail cams or the sky cams that kind of do again, it's sort of a video game kind of shot where you've got, a sideline point of view, and, maybe that becomes an alternate view, maybe that becomes, something that is only used once in a while. But it was fun to kind of play around with that and sort of reinvent, the camera angles.
Real briefly, Chris, I was just going to say, I mean, it's not just a football field.
Yeah.
We saw the NBA Summer League,
Correct.
Helmets in the front here. Pretty cool angle on basketball.
And thanks to the work of Steven and a lot of his team, we are, as well as our partners at ESPN, we've been doing a lot of playing around with Skycam for the NBA. Obviously, we have several more challenges, especially as the arenas that they're building now, the scoreboards are getting larger, making the fly space a lot more difficult. Then there's one of the things that we've talked about on some earlier panels. There's the in-arena experience versus the at-home experience, meaning can we move the scoreboard higher, and how does that affect the in-arena experience to allow the Skycam to fly and to get underneath it? There's all sorts of other gaming issues that we're trying to sort through, but thankfully everybody's committed to that because I think the view that Skycam provides, the angles that it provides, to your point, Jason, in terms of how it's directed, I think can provide a very compelling angle for in-arena and for basketball coverage. So we continue to explore it. We're continuing to work with the NBA on it. We're continuing to work with ESPN and all experimenting. Hopefully we'll get there very soon.